Good morning, friends. A warm welcome to all of you. I am Supriya, anchor for today's event. To begin with the proceedings, I would request all of you to take the seats and please put your mobile handsets on silent mode and do not disturb the conference proceedings while speaking loudly on the phone. I hope all my fellow delegates will follow the instructions and you will take the benefits of this event. On behalf of Sri Chandrakant Salunkhe, founder and president, SME Chamber of India and Maharashtra Industry Development Association, as well as on behalf of Tata Tele Business Services, I welcome all of you at the series of Do Big Conclave at the SME Industry Summit. With the theme Empowering Enterprises for Better Business Growth Through Digitalization, which is specially organized for SMEs, manufacturing and other service industries. Friends, Tata Tele Business Services has been putting efforts to organize series of events as Do Big Conclave for the benefit of entrepreneurs and their main workforce. The Do Big Conclave is a customer engagement, education initiative organized across the cities where the business leaders across business verticals convene to discuss about the digital technologies which are being used to deliver compelling products and services. Connect faster with customers and optimize costs. Retain customers by using the unique technologies. These conclaves are an engagement platform for the customers of Tata Tele Business Services, wherein, on a continual basis, Tata Tele Business Services has been constantly trying to understand the potentiality and challenges to provide them with the relevant digital solutions. Affordable solutions to enhance efficiently to operate with limited capacity. The digital solutions have been enabling many enterprises to efficiently operate in challenging situations to meet the ends of your customers and organizational needs. Being a leading brand of Tata Group, Tata Tele Business Services has been providing platform to bring together the technology experts and needy customers to explore further business cooperation. I request you all to applaud Tata Tele Business Services for these efforts. A big round of applause for Tata Tele Business Services. Now I would like to invite Mr. Mahesh Kumar, the Director of SME Chamber of India.
Good morning, friends. On behalf of SME Chamber of India and Tata Tele Business Services, I welcome all of you for this SME Industry Summit, which is focusing on empowering enterprises for better business growth through the digitalization. Friends, as you know, SME is the backbone of the Indian economy and it's contributing significantly to the employment generation, innovation, exports, and inclusive growth. According to the Ministry of MSME, there are over 63 million MSMEs in India, accounting for 45% industrial output, 40% exports, 37.5% of GDP. The MSME sector has shown remarkable resilience and adaptability during the COVID-19 pandemic and after that also, leveraging digital technologies and platforms for overcome the challenges and the disruptions. Friends, despite its commendable contribution to the nation's economy, the SME sector does not get required support from the concerned government agencies, banks, financial institutions, and other stakeholders, which is hindering SMEs in the becoming more competitive at the national and international level. SMEs face normally numerous problems such as inadequate and timely bank finance, skilled manpower, limited capital knowledge, non-availability of suitable technology, low production capacity, and many more. The government of India has come up with so many schemes for the manufacturers, exporters, and for the technologies also. So today's event is focusing on the technology. Partner is Tata Tele Business Services, and I welcome all of you to this program. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to invite to deliver the keynote address by Mr. Devidas Gore, Director, Government of Maharashtra. The topic will be empowering enterprises for better business growth through digitalization. Shri Devidas Gore secured a degree in electrical engineering from Government Colleges of Engineering, Aurangabad in 1987. He had also obtained master degree in power system and completed diploma in business management. Throughout his academic career, he is a topper and rank holder. Later on, he worked in computer field, private industry, central government, and as a professor in engineering college too. Through Maharashtra Public Service Commission, he got selected as assistant director and posted at Aurangabad in 1992. Thereafter, he worked at various places all over the Maharashtra and got promotions. Now he is Director, Industrial Safety and Health, Mumbai since July 2023. He is a good volleyball player and represented Maharashtra team. He participated in various state level and national level safety programs. He loves friendship. Mr. Gore writes safety songs and composes to give message for ensuring the safety of the human beings. Also, he gives social contribution to his native place Naigaon district, Usmanabad, located in Marathwada region. It is pleasure to let you know that he is actor too and played a role in commercial Marathi movie Amhi Befikir. Recently, he has been awarded Marathwada Bhushan Puraskar in Bal Gandharva, Pune and Special Diamond Jubilee Award 2023 by Federation of Industries of India. He represented Maharashtra state along with Honorable Labour Minister and Principal Secretary Mumbai as at Intersect Exhibition 2024 at Dubai. He is good event organizer and organized various training programs, workshops on safety to inculcate the vision and the mission of the safety. The Directorate is promoting the safety all over the Maharashtra under his leadership. A big round of applause for Devidas sir.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Namaskar आणि राम राम. Chandrakantji, Vishalji, and all renowned speakers. Dear friends, it is the opportunity given me to interact with you regarding the provisions of the Factories Act 1948 and at which establishment it is applicable. So, the main role of my department is to enforce the provisions of Factories Act 1948 and Maharashtra's Factories Rule 1963, which are pertaining to the safety and health of the workers. You know that as far as Maharashtra is concerned, it is the Santas Maibhumi, and lot many Santas gives the message to the society through their different abhangas. So I have composed one abhang to give the safety message to the you people. So I will start this session with my safety abhanga. Yes, please play it. Thank you. Now I will start my presentation. Dear friends, you know that you people are the major backbone for manufacturing. And to manufacturing anything, two components are required. One is the occupier itself and another is a worker. So without any worker, you cannot manufacture anything. So it is very important that worker safety is of prime importance for you people and for health of the workers also. So I will start my presentation next. Lot many people may have the question in your mind that why you have to obtain the license, Factories Act 1948 license. One thing is that it is a statutory compliance requirement. Secondly, being the social responsibility is your duty to ensure safety of the workers. Even sometimes what you have to do is that you have to bid some tender and they sought that do you have the factory act license or not. So that's why it is necessary to obtain the license to you people. Next please. Now, as far as factory act is concerned, so what do you mean the factory that is to be registered under Factories Act? As already I have told you is that the workers are no doubt required to carry out manufacturing process. The major requirement is that there should be a manufacturing process or manufacturing activity. And if you are carrying out the manufacturing activity with 20 or more workers and with the aid of the power, then we call it as the section 2M1 factories. So such a establishments need to be obtain the factory license. One possibility is that without power you can carry out the manufacturing process, and if in that cases if your worker strength is more than 40, then it is again mandatory to carry out, to obtain the factory license. Apart from that, there are few activities in which you are handling the hazardous substances, such as your ammonia or inflammable liquids. So in spite of any worker strength, it is a mandatory to obtain the license if you are carrying out the hazardous process. I will quote a simple example. If you do have the ice factory, generally 2 to 3 people are sufficient to carry out the manufacturing process in a single shift. So in a one shift 3, second 3, third one 3, 3 plus 3 plus 3, it will be 9. So even though it is less than 20, but as you are using the hazardous chemicals, so even less than 20 factory act will be applicable and you have to obtain the license. Next. So as I already have told you is that investor is there. Then who is the occupier as far as factory act is concerned? There are 3 possibilities to carry out any business. One is the single man, that generally we call it as the proprietor, isn't it? Then secondly, 2 or 3 friends come together, form a partnership. It's a partnership deed. Or if it is a bigger one investment, then it may be 4 people or 1 or 2 people. They do apply for the ROC and then obtain the private limited or the limited registration. So in such a cases, proprietor is the deemed to be the occupier as far as factory act is concerned. Any one of the partner who is declared having the ultimate control over all the affairs, he will be occupier, and any one of the director who has been nominated having the ultimate control, he will be the occupier of the factories. Next. Then who is the worker? Generally people what they do understand is that if a person's name is on the muster, if he is the permanent employee, then he is the worker. But this is the wrong what you feel it is. Because it is equally important to the permanent worker, contractor worker, casual, manager, then watchman, security, your office staff people whose you are working in the factory. It is the equal important of a safety to each and everyone. So workers mean a person who is employed directly, indirectly, including a contractor, with or without knowledge of the principal employer. If such a number of heads are more than 20 on any day in the year, so as per section 2M1 Factory Act will be applicable, you have to obtain the license. Next. Then depending upon the age of the workers, we do classify the workers as adult if he has attained the age of 18 or more. Then if that fellow is more than 15 and less than 18, we call it as an adolescent worker. And if he is or she is more than 14 and less than 15, we call it as a child. As far as Factory Act is concerned, A person who has not completed his 14th year of age, he is not allowed to work in the factory. Please keep it in mind. Next. Next, please. Then it is proud to let you know that Directorate Industrial Safety and Health Department, who is working under the Labor Department, 100% digitalized. Nobody has to approach to my office to obtain the license. A labor management system, the software have been developed. You have to go to the site and you have to fill the form. But before doing that, what the documents you need to get the registration under Factories Act? One is that you have to declare what you are carrying out the manufacturing process. What are the raw materials used? What is the finished product? What are the process charts? Then is your firm or establishment a partnership, proprietorship, or a ROC registered factories? Then if it is a ROC registered factories, then you have to nominate one of the director as a person having the ultimate control. So board resolution is required for that. XYZ, out of XYZ, Y have been nominated and he has given the power of the ultimate control. So board resolution is one of the requirement. The proof of the premises, if it is in the MIDC, plot allotment letter, or you can have it a lease deed also. So occupier, the ownership of the premises is one of the required document. Then MPCV consent if it is a hazardous factory, light bill, certificate of stability, because that you may know that lot many heavy materials or machinery has to be installed in the premises. So you should ensure the structure is stable, so that you require the structural stability certificate, which is obtained from the competent person, maybe a structural engineer. If you are having the female employment, then Mahila Takrar Nivaran Samiti document, and a form number 1, which is generated by applying or by using the LMS. It is to be, it's a printout is to be taken, it is to be signed and then uploaded. Next, please. As already you have told you that if you are having the manufacturing activity pertaining to the hazardous process and other possibilities other than hazardous process. So there are 2 methods or requirement to obtain the factory act license. So if it is other than hazardous process, by uploading the documents you have told you, which I have told you beforely, within 7 days, without visiting the site, a license is issued by department and it is a conditional license. Just you have to show the sketch. As my department is related to the safety and health of the workers, the major requirement is that how many exits you have, what is the ventilation facilities there, how is the illumination facilities there. Just a sketch is sufficient to give the conditional license to you. The conditional license is issued subject to few conditions. A major condition is that you have to approve the plans detailed, showing your plan, sectional view, location of the machines. If it is a multi-story building, then how many staircases you do have. Again, it is to be submitted by online itself. Then we do give approval for it. And later on, an officer from my department will come to your site and will see that really is your construction or the building as per the approved drawings. First, and secondly, and whatever you have declared, are you really manufacturing that or something else? So he will ensure and he will submit his proposal to the regional head Generally, we call them as a joint director. They do submit online to my department's head, that is myself, a director, and within 21 days after your plan approval and application, your permanent license is issued. And no paper is to be submitted to my office. So ours is 100% digitalized as the Tata do it. Tata, just I will elaborate if, with kind permission from the Vishalji. T is for taking, A is for all. Again, Andheri is together, and A is for actively. Isn't it Tata ji? Vishal ji? I think my elaboration is right. So Tata do that for you people, for giving the good opportunities or giving the market you to people. Next please. Come to previous one. Previously, as I have told you that if you are carrying out the hazardous process, as a process details are to be given. What are the toxic chemicals that may be that may came out? So we have to study it, and so for that, instead of issuing the condition license, what we do is that, or what you have to do is that first you have to approve the plans. You may be having the reactor, you may be having the boiler, you may be having the distillation systems and all that. So first requirement is that you should approve the drawings, then as previously apply for the permanent license, and then a license will be issued to you after visiting your factory. Now, as the Factories Act 1948 is to ensure health and safety of the workers, it is the prime responsibility of the occupier to ensure the safety. So he should know what are his duties. He cannot be there most of the times, so he may appoint a manager, isn't it, to manage some activities. So both should know that what are their independent responsibilities or legal duties. Being the occupier and having the ultimate control, he has to apply for registration, obtain the license, then submit the annual returns. If you are having the pressure vessel or the lifting tackles, those are to be tested or examined from the competent persons. This is also one of the responsibility. Then, as my department or this Industrial Safety and Health Department has the word health, so health is to be ensured by carrying out the medical examinations of the workers. So this is again responsibility of the occupier. If unfortunately some mishap occurs, how you are prepared, so ensure it. To ensure it, you need the on-site emergency plan, and to see that how you are acquainted or how you can mitigate it, you have to carry out the mock drills. So these are the major responsibilities casted on the shoulder of the occupier. So you people, manager, you should know what are your responsibilities. One is that if unfortunately some mishap occurs in the factory, maybe a fire, maybe a serious accident, it has to be intimated to the Directorate Industrial Safety and Health within a stipulated period. That is the major responsibility of the manager. Then few documents or notices are to be displayed in the factory. That is working hours, generally we call it as a notice of periods of work. That timetable is to be displayed, and to maintain the register, that is attendance register, to then leave with wages register and accident register. Those are the responsibilities of the manager. And if there is any breach or contravention of right side column, then occupier will not be held responsible, the manager itself will be held responsible. Next please. Now, as already I have told you is that my department is having the labor management system site, LMS we call it as, 100% digitalized. All the forms are to be uploaded or submitted by online itself. Even drawings are online approved. If accident occurs, again online reporting system facility is there. Then annual returns are to be submitted generally in form number 27 once in a year of a calendar from 1st Jan to the 31st December every year. Generally you submit it in the January itself. Then safety audit is carried out if you are carrying out the hazardous process. Intimation to carry out the safety audit is again online. Then if you carry out the medical examinations, you have to intimate from which certifying surgeon you are carrying out the medical examinations, again online. Health register, again online. And if you are having the pressure vessel or the lifting tackles, those are to be tested or examined from the competent person. So again this is online. So we have the opportunity to meet in such a conclave only. You need not to come to our office. So thanks to the SME for giving a chance to have the induction with you. Next please. Now, what is the site? How to go there? That is very easy. lmsmahaonline.gov.in is the site. Just you have to mention your email ID, password, then log in. You will have one OTP and just easily you can go to the LMS and start your applying for registration or plan approval or intimating all the things. Next please. Whosoever are the certifying surgeons, whosoever are the competent persons, how many factories are registered under Factories Act, all the information is available on the website. Anybody can go to it and obtain the information. Now, if you go to the statistics, unfortunately some mishap occurs in the factory, and go to the root level, what are the causes of the accidents. There are two possibilities. One is an unsafe act and another is an unsafe condition. If you analyze the incidences, you will see that 90% of the accidents cause is the unsafe act itself only, and only 10% are unsafe conditions. By giving a simple example, I will let you know how unsafe act is there or unsafe condition is there. If you are driving the two-wheeler, you are talking on the phone and driving itself is an unsafe act, isn't it? And the side stand of the motorcycle or the bike, which is to be kept in upward direction after starting, if you have forgotten it and if it is not lifted upward, then that is the unsafe condition. So simple definitions to understand the what is the unsafe act and the what is the unsafe condition itself. Please next. Now, as my department's role is to enforce safety and health of the workers and to investigate the accidents and go to the root level. Whosoever is the working in my directorate as an enforcing officer is an engineer itself, himself or herself having the 7 years experience if he is to be a deputy director, or 2 years experience if he or she is to be assistant director. Everybody is an engineer, maybe mechanical, chemical, electrical or production itself. So then how to reduce the accidents? As I have told you that unsafe act is the major cause of the accidents. First you have to change your the behavior. So we have to stress on the behavior based safety. You have to train your workers to change your behavior and be acquainted with the safety. Then use the atomization techniques. Try to avoid the direct contacts with the revolving or moving machinery by doing the atomization, such as the robotics. Not many people in industries use it. Then use the work permit systems so that if somebody is carrying out a hazardous work which is likely to give a risk or the accidents, if work permit system is there, then you will see that what the precautions are to be taken. Is he carrying out or is he doing or not? A document will be there that generally we call it as a work permit system. Lot many machineries need a preventive maintenance or after a fault a maintenance. Then low-to systems is followed, that is lockout, tag out system, that if it is followed then a possibility of the switching on the machinery under maintenance will be neglected or ruled out. So use the low-to system, depute a trained manpower and carry out the risky activities under a proper supervision. If you do it, I do have confidence that accidents will be nullified or it will come to the zero, which is my department's ambition. Next, please. Now, as I have told you that my department's ambition is the zero accidents. I have started my speech with the Abhanga. Then I will conclude with my session with a English song again, which is pertaining to the safety itself, and with your support, I am planning that it will go to the International Labour Organization. Please play it.
Now I would like to invite to deliver the address by His Excellency Mr. Adolfo Garcia Estrada, Consul General of Mexico in Mumbai. Topic is bilateral trade and investment opportunities for SMEs in Mexico. A big round of applause for Mr. Adolfo. Adolfo Garcia Estrada, currently serving as Consul General of Mexico in Mumbai since January 2023. Previously held positions including Deputy Consul General in Houston, USA in 2019, with a master's degree in diplomatic studies and international political economy. He has been in Mexican Foreign Service since 2000, holding roles such as political attaché in Finland, Deputy Chief of Mission in Ireland, and Charges d'Affaires in Thailand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. This is a great pleasure for me, for the Consul General of Mexico, to be in this August meeting. Of course, you will have a question, and that question is, why Mexico? So, why is this guy here? Why is the Consul General of Mexico addressing the SME forum? I will tell you that, it's not only that my country is great, it is. You should visit. Great food, very similar to the great Indian food. But there's more to that. We think in the Consulate General that this is a unique opportunity. This is a great moment for Indian industry, Indian business, and especially Indian SMEs to consider Mexico in your global strategy. Of course, the first thing is the first things first. This is a great moment to consider Mexico because there's a macroeconomic stability. Of course, we have a great geographic location. We have a series of advantages that should be the basis for considering our country. I want to, my objective is that I leave you with one very simple message that I will give you more detailing later. All these features are related to that message, to that concept. The stability for a country, the geographic location, our network of free trade agreements, they all coalesce into one simple concept that you want to consider. So very shortly, you have to take into account that we in Mexico, we are facing similar challenges, and we are going through a very similar process that as the process that you are facing in India, you know, that the drive towards digitalization, towards a different kind of manufacturing, a different kind of economy, another level of economic development. So Mexico, as other countries, they were, I mean, we have very attractive labor costs, but we used to be concentrated in that part specifically, you know, low salaries, you know, that was our competitive edge. Not anymore. Of course, we are transiting towards a tech-intensive economy, as India is. We are covering all the steps of production. So, of course, from manufacture to design and R&D, okay? And, of course, looking into the manufacturer as a part of the global logistics system. That's very important. So, when we talk about Mexico, you can relate very well, because this paradigm shift is exactly the same shift that you are looking at in this country, right? So let's get to the point I was raising before. What is the one point that I want to talk to you about today? One concept that I want you to leave here in this meeting. That concept is nearshoring, okay? So what is happening in Mexico? We are looking at a very special moment, at a unique opportunity, an opportunity that may not repeat itself in many, many years. And that is nearshoring. What do we mean by nearshoring? Well, we mean the relocation of industries of all over the world to Mexico. Not because of the Mexican market, not only because of the Mexican market, because let me tell you that Mexico is not, I mean, of course it's not as big as India, nothing is as big as India, the largest country in the world, but it is by no means a small market. We are 130 million people, okay? So, but it's not only that. If you invest in Mexico, if you relocate in Mexico, we are talking about not only servicing the Mexican market. We are talking about servicing the North American market, okay? So, Mexico is part of the North American continent. It has a free trade agreement with the US and Canada. And what is one of the key unique advantages? Well, we are at the geographical sweet spot between North and South America, the proximity of with the US, with the largest economy in the world, is there. And the infrastructure is there. And the convenience is there. So, for instance, I put this in this map, the city of Houston. I put the city of Houston because my previous posting was Houston, so I had that slide already prepared. But you know, it is very, it's a good example. From Houston, you have 67 direct flights per day to Mexico City and other cities in the country. So what does that mean for an Indian business? It means that if you are in Mexico, you are a very short flight away from Houston, to name one of the main gateways of America. You can go from basically any part of Mexico to Houston. It's a very short flight. To give you an idea, it's the same distance from Mexico City to Houston as the distance from Mumbai to Delhi. So it's very close. So you're there, you have that advantage, of course. You have that proximity. You can service your clients in the same time zone, right? So it's super convenient. Oh. What do we mean by convenience? So I am showing you this graph. This graph was taken from data at the end of the pandemic, but it shows very neatly what is the advantage of nearshoring, of being near the customer. So you can see the logistics costs of doing business in the US. From a base of 100 here, the 100 index, you can see how high the costs can add up to your business. The costs of warehousing, the costs of transportation, and the cost of having inventories. Why is that? Well, of course, for many reasons, but we can mention two. First, things can and do happen, as we saw in the pandemic. What happened in the pandemic? You saw all those, piles of containers in Shanghai port, in Mumbai port, in Guangzhou, in Singapore, piling up, and from one day to the other, supply chains were cut off. They were stopped. All except the North American supply chains. The Mexico-US border was among the few, if not the only one, the only border that remained open all throughout the pandemic. So what happened? If you have a business that is exporting parts to the US, you can get cut off from just like that, from one day to the other, right? You can incur in huge transportation costs. You will need to plan in advance and make huge investments in warehousing. You will have to stock up your inventories. Not necessarily, or not if you are in Mexico, because you are there, right? So even in the extreme case of the pandemic, well, you have that advantage. That will remain open. The second issue that I want that you consider is the geopolitical situation. The geopolitical situation between the US and other countries, especially one very big country. There are many tensions, and production is shifting from that country to other closer and friendlier destinations, as Mexico. Here you can see also, again, in a very practical way, how long does it take to transport your truck of the things that you are producing from Mexico to, let's say, Houston. Depending on the location of your plant or your facility in Mexico, it will take less than 2 days, right? Less than 4 days, even all the way up north in New York City. So, what has happened? And the reason I was saying that everything is connected and the macroeconomic outlook is connected with this nearshoring is that why do we have a very stable macroeconomic outlook? Why the Mexican currency, the Mexican peso, has been the best performing currency in the last couple of years against the US dollar? It just keeps increasing in value. Well, it is because this huge inflow of foreign direct investment to Mexico. So it's because of this opportunity that, again, I think that you shouldn't miss out. So, nearshoring. Nearshoring is best shoring. We are on top of the natural incentives. The Mexican government has a very ambitious program of deduction of taxes, of deduction of training expenses, among many other incentives that you can avail of if you invest in Mexico this year and in the following. There are several schemes that you can take advantage of. We have some very specific projects. Right now, currently, we are developing some infrastructure projects that are among the largest projects in the world, and they provide very interesting opportunities to the Indian business, So we have a very big plan called Plan Sonora, that's in the northern part of Mexico, on the border with Arizona, to develop renewable energy and electromobility. This is one of the key areas where we have encountered innovation and entrepreneurship in India. Renewables, electromobility. You have huge expertise. You have a level of ingenuity and innovation that we have not seen in other parts of the world. We are developing we call the Tehuantepec Interoceanic Canal. That's a dry canal, meaning we have one port in the Atlantic, one port in the Pacific, and it is linked by a rail line. It's already in place. There are huge opportunities to invest there in logistics, to transport goods, and to invest in the free zones, and do logistical work from the Pacific to the Atlantic, skipping the Panama Canal that is now facing very important challenges. And of course, Tren Maya is one of the largest train projects in Mexico and Latin America as a whole, in the southern part of Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula, again related to the tourism industry. Of course, in the Cancun area, that you may know, and that is very attractive. So, where are we now? What are the opportunities of trade between Mexico and India? Well, we currently have, this slide is slightly old. It says $8 billion of annual trade. We're actually now more like $10 billion. So I ask you, how much is that? Is that a lot or not? Well, let me give you a figure in comparison to compare that. The trade between Mexico and the US is about more or less $3 million per minute. That works out times 1,440 minutes per day. That works out to a total of $4.3 billion per day. So that means that in a couple of days, the trade between Mexico and the US is larger than the trade between Mexico and the largest country on the earth. Of course, I mean, we are neighbors. Of course, we have a large history of trading. But what I'm saying is that this has to change, or this can change, because the opportunities are there, right? Because from the side of Mexico, we have this nearshoring, and from the part of India, you have a booming economy. You are the largest country in the world. You have great capacities all across the board, and especially in business. Of course, we can do more. Sorry, and of course, this trade has been concentrated. I mean, there's a large chunk of vehicles, electronics, but traditionally it was concentrated in raw materials and crude oil. And of course, crude oil, you can see the exports of Mexico just falling, because of course now there are other sources of oil for India, you know, especially one that is cheaper, right? But and our production is actually diminishing, right? But the exports of India just keep growing. And what are we importing? So the red line. So finished goods. We're importing electronic equipment. We're importing cars. So there's a lot of things that we can do. Investment also 3 billion. I mean, it's a good investment, but there's a huge room for growth, right? So concentrated in IT, in pharmaceuticals, in vehicles. There are many, the big names of Indian businesses there. Of course, TCS is there, but also Infosys, Bajaj, JK Tire. And from the part of Mexico, well, some well-known Mexican companies, Cinepolis, Metalsa, Kitsania, that are into entertainment, in auto parts, in the food sector. They are in Mexico. In India. This is a visualization of what I was just saying. Of course, you can see the imports from Mexico. The pink sector are telephones, mobiles, etc. The pink sector in the case of imports to Mexico, also very important. The blue is the import of cars, especially of Korean brands that are being produced in India and exported to Mexico. We are very much looking into the possibility of importing Indian brands that are so good and are not known in Mexico, and I think they would be a real hit. And finally, just a very small slide about the startup ecosystem in Mexico. So it is the second largest in Latin America after Brazil, and we have witnessed a 2,000% growth in venture investments, and we have our share of unicorns, and it's a sector that is really growing. So I want to conclude by saying that everything that I said, of course, applies to businesses of all sizes. As you saw in the previous slide, the large names are already taking advantage of nearshoring and the opportunities of Mexico. But my message to you is that there is a huge room of opportunity for small and medium enterprises. Let me tell you that, for instance, we had recently a meeting with the auto sector in Mexico. And they were emphasizing to us, Mexico has a huge auto industry. We are the fourth largest exporter in the world. So what happens? All the big names are there, the Volkswagen, GM, Ford, Nissan, you name it, Mercedes, BMW, all the big names are there. Now we are having a big gigafactory of Tesla, actually in production, currently in construction in northern Mexico. So we have the large companies, the tier one. We also have a large number of suppliers to that industry, the tier two. But the integration of tier three companies is very low. So there's a lot of importation in that third or fourth level of the supply chain. So there's a huge opportunity for small and medium enterprises. So it doesn't matter the size. You will go there and you will have the same advantages. You can have a small company, very specialized company. Well, you set up shop in Mexico and you can service Mexico, you can service, we have seen that with a number of small Indian companies in the IT sector. They can service their North American customers, as I said, same time zone, at a much cheaper rate, cheaper costs, but also service their Latin American clients. Mexico can serve as an excellent platform for internationalization of Indian business and to explore other opportunities, not only in Mexico, not only in North America, but also in Latin America. So with that, I conclude. Thank you very much. I am seated there. If anybody of you has any interest or want to leave your card, be sure that we will follow up. We can have a meeting with each of your companies and discuss opportunities of exporting or selling to our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Adolfo.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's a very interesting presentation by you. Friends, Mexico is one of the countries where we can, explore more opportunity, particularly for export. And those are, struggling to get entry into US or Canada, they can take advantage of the Mexico to do business through Mexican businesses. Promoting and supporting Indian SMEs, particularly to enter in the manufacturing as well as the export. So let's explore that, and I suggest you can recommend to your government to provide on-arrival visa for Indians. That's why I'm here today.
We just opened our visa operations in Mumbai, so it is very good that you are mentioning that. And if you contact us, if you go to the consulate, we will look into your application. We have a special channel for business people that want to go to Mexico, and so you will have a hassle-free experience regarding visas. So no problem. There are some visa facilities in place, actually in place. If you have a US visa, a Schengen visa, you do not need a visa to enter Mexico.
If US visa is there on arrival, we can enter.
Yes, and you can enter visa-free. So, but if you do not have one of those visas, we will make sure to issue you one, and so that to welcome you to our country and do business there.
Thank you. It's very interesting. And special thanks to Mr. Gore for creating the awareness amongst the safety. When we are here to listen more about the Tata teleservices products, which is supporting for the securing your interest in a digital way. So similarly, since we are talking about the industry and SME sector, so the factory safety your worker safety and your business safety is most important. How we are utilizing the Tata products for securing our digital way loss. So let's give a big hand to Mr. Gore also. And we have started morning with the abang. Most of the people must be understand Marathi. Those not understand, visuals must be given you the message about how to focus on your safety for the particular in manufacturing industry. Friends, Tata Tele Business Services always giving the platform to our entrepreneurs, particularly from manufacturing and SME sector, to understand the technological development, understanding the uses of the advanced technology and importance of the technology. And they are constantly providing this kind of platform for all of you, for just not for awareness for particularly use the quality products. So let's invite the Vishalji in China speech. Vishalji to give a better presentation, particularly to understand our importance for the SME entrepreneurs. Thank you.
We are inviting Mr. Vishal Bhatt, Vice President, SME Division, Tata Tele Business Services. The topic will be digital enablement of enterprises.
We're still in the morning session, so welcome once again. Slightly running late. Am I audible clearly? Okay. I was introduced. My name is Vishal Bhatt. I manage the business from Mumbai for Tata Tele. I've been here for more than a year. I've worked with Tata for quite a long span. It's been almost 15 years there. And worked with various companies of Tata Group. And effectively, today, like we heard speakers talking and Mr. Gore talking much about safety, Mr. Garcia, well, Mexico is something which is new to our country in terms of saying trade, and we believe that yes, we can do much more. But by the name Mr. Garcia, you're familiar. I already call your name to a soccer player, like he's well known in India, so Garcia, and effectively like that's something very, very good for us. So today, let's kind of first understand why we are here. We're here because we believe that businesses are getting digitized, that we believe that businesses today are not being functional or operational in the way they used to be in the past. Gone are the things when times were there, like when everything was manual, and today we believe, and each one of us believe that yes, we have to be one, be fast in a business. If you have to be fast, you have to be also much more simpler in your processes, and at the same time, how do you serve your customers better? That's the whole idea. So, as an organization, also internally, Tata Tele Business, we go with the theme of faster, simpler, closer, and that's how we serve our customers, and that's how close we are to our customers. So, importantly, I thank SCB Chambers to kind of conduct this forum. This has been, we're trying to kind of conduct such multiple forums, and this has been one of them. And each time we see a crowd, and it's, I thank each one of you to take out time and you'll be here in the day, and out of your busy schedules, and it's like a working day. So before I go to the presentation, I would want to kind of give you a brief in terms of why we're here. We're here because of the transformation which is happening in the market. How businesses are functioning in the past, how they are functioning now. It's very important for all of us to understand. If we're not there, we may not be there in future. So it's important that we adapt to this critically very fast. In this entire discussion today, or the presentation, I will take you certain case studies, certain testimonials in terms of how customers behave these days. Effectively, like what value does Tata Tele bring to the customers on your table? That's very important for you. We are a company which has got a legacy, predominantly known as a well-known telco organization, but with the passage of time, we have become more of a digital company and serving digital technologies to the organizations. As I move forward, I want to kind of start with a simple video which talks about why it is important for us to become digital. So, what does it tell us? It clearly tells us one message. Yeah, we have had to be there. But let's ask this question of where are we? Are we at the right place? First of all, we're at the right place. Like, I'll tell you why. We're in India. India is one of the economies which is actually growing. The GDP tells you the story. Second, the story is the adoption of tech is phenomenal here. We're becoming a digital tech factory today. It's the country which believes in technology. It's a country where people think technology, and it's a country where we are actually going at a pace where we are adopting technologies and becoming digital. It's said, like maybe perhaps as because we adopt more and more technologies, we adopt more and more digital stuff, people believe that what will people do in future. But let me tell you what give you the confidence of one thing. It's said like maybe 40 years down the line, 30 years down the line, this is the country where people will, along with the technologies what we adopt, will also have jobs. There will be countries who will become digital, but there will be no jobs. That's the problem which is going to come up. But this country is pretty safe and still long way to go. That's why we see FDIs, that's why we see countries like US, countries like China, countries like Mexico, and for that matter, coming to India and say, why don't we be here? Because this is the market, right? And what role do we play here as technology provider, and what role you play as an SME to the economy is really food for the thought. That's very important for us to kind of understand. So going forward, if you stick to this, and as I said, I talked about we are at the right place. We are at the right place because the story looks like this. So do we say, yes, this is the right time, right place? Yes. The answer clearly is yes. As we move forward, we look at the trends, and I spoke about businesses getting function, how we were functioning in the past and how we are functioning now. It tells us like we are now becoming, from business point of view, becoming more from a pure play services to a solution organization. We don't buy box just for buying a box. We look at businesses by saying, what is my need? How will I improve my customer experience? How will I reach to my customer faster? The game is changing there. If you're not there fast, somebody else is going to be there before you. So when you look at these, the trend lines clearly says the rising demand of digital technologies and solutions is coming into play. And as we look at all this, the product line which is coming into play is likes of artificial intelligence, likes of IoT, likes of cloud and SaaS, and we're hearing newer terminologies and keywords like digital twins and metaverse and all that stuff. This is more to do with virtual world. Like we see now these days. Yesterday I was talking in the evening with one of my team members and said how people kind of play games sitting at different locations, and that's all what metaverse can do. How kids are playing games these days, sitting at different locations. Now, if you look at this, all this is bringing us to one state. And COVID taught us a lot of those things and how things have changed and lives have changed, is that we are now becoming more of a borderless kind of a model. Anyone can work from anywhere, anyone can coordinate, communicate, and we can run our businesses. So in all this journey, in all this need, is the evolution of the technologies, is the evolution of alliances, is the evolution of collaboration. And as an organization, as if I take ourselves back to what we were 4 years before or 5 years before, we were, as I said, a pure play telco organization. But with the passage of time, the need and the customer demands, it brought us to some sort of strong alliances like Microsoft, alliances with likes of Google, alliances with likes of Meta. The reason is that these are the technologies which are basically becoming more and more virtual, and there are technologies which are becoming more and more platform based, and businesses are happening like that. So if I move forward and look at basically the abilities and the need, it's clearly telling us a story of saying, do you have the infrastructure, do you have the technology, and do you have the applications to run all this? And if you actually adapt it, you basically achieve what you want to achieve in future in businesses. So you have to actually look back to your own story of saying what you were. I was talking about Tata Tele business. Basically, you look back to your own organizations, what you were there 3 years before and what you were there in 2018? Are you the same? Are you doing the business the same way? Were you using a Gmail that point of time? Are you using a personal domain today? The difference is because things have changed. Things have changed. People need to recognize you by your name. People need to see you faster than someone else. So they will tell you about saying, if you're not there still, if you're not adapted to what we are doing now, or for that matter businesses are doing there, you need to do it now. So effectively, we know how different a large enterprise and a small and medium enterprise works. A large enterprise, we all know it's something which they've got the capital, they've got the infra, they've got the brains and the mind and the thought and the management support to kind of say, okay, invest and then kind of customize things and do better. But here is a challenge for an SME. What challenges the SME face? First and the most important thing is that we want to become, and as we say, the SMEs tend to kind of behave like large enterprise and at the same time want to adopt technologies like that, but do they have the right infra, for that matter, the expertise and the capital is very important. So some of the challenges what we clearly see is that the workforce is an information is an issue. The compliance becomes a very important part here, and I heard Mr. Gore how important it is about all these manufacturing units to be compliant. And if we are not compliant, and it becomes a little bit challenging for SMEs to kind of become compliant at that point of time. So when we see all these challenges, we look at something like, is there someone who comes forward to me and provides me with all this kind of consulting and all this kind of solution, which is one stop. You can guide me, say, how do I take it forward? We can actually talk about business journeys, not from a technology point of view, but from an operations point of view, and say, where does the technology fit and how do I make my business efficient? So, there was a time when when we started our careers, we used to interact with IT managers most of the time, or now it became the things changed to CTOs and CIOs. But now technology is everywhere. When we go and meet our customers today, we don't really actually meet the CIO or CTO only. We actually then hunt for a supply chain head. Where does the supply chain manager sit? Where does the chief marketing officer sit? Because importantly, the kind of product line and the kind of technologies that are going to be adapted are not in-house. They are basically outside the office now. They are here. You're basically talking of how do I attract my consumer? Think about any business, be it retail, be it logistics, be it banking. It's all about consumers. It's all about customers. Now, if you are only becoming high-tech within your premise or inside your premise, is not the way business is run. It's about being high-tech outside. So that is why the CTO, CIO movement has gone beyond. Now it is beyond, it's as I said, supply chain, it's gone to marketing, it's gone to finance, it's gone everywhere. So people look for this one-stop solution. They look for simple solutions, not that complexity which can bring too much cost and factors like that. Then obviously, in today's world, we all believe one thing is very important, which is the data. If I have the right information, if I've got the right bank with me, I believe that I can do many things with it if I have the data. Now, to keep the data, it's important that not only the data, but the rest of the things is how do I keep it secure. So security comes as a very important element. So when you combine all this and you basically look at data privacy, security, then you look at one-stop solution and this, you need firms, you need people who basically talk to you as on the whole. Now, as an organization, that's where we are now playing a very important part. And TTBS plays a very critical part in actually discussing these things with you. Become a solution, one-stop solution provider. Take you through the digital journey, look at your operations clearly, and talk about you as a business, and then see your need is this much, and we fit in correctly there. So I play a video here. So, you must be thinking what business we are in. Are we into internet world? Are we into data? Are we into voice? Are we into cloud? Are we into communication? Are we into messaging? Actually, we are into digital solutions. So, think from a product point of view. If you start an office, the first and the most important thing what you need in your office is basic internet. And if you need a basic internet, you also need a basic voice number. That's where the journey starts to run your office. Without these two things, nothing is going to run your place today. And as you build on the basic infra, you talk about internet, and you open up more than 2-3 offices, you believe that you need connectivity between these offices. That's where the VPN, MPLS, and SD-WAN comes into play. And as you expand and you believe that you need to kind of reach out to your customers and have a solution which can be cloud-based telephonic solution or a premise-based SIP trunk or a PRA solution. That's where we have a solution from the voice part of it. That's how you reach your consumers. And if at all you want your consumers to reach out to you, that's where we give a product which is a toll-free. This is a cloud-based product. And as you expand and then believe that to run your office as an operations on the whole, you need an email, you need a security on top of it, you need to put your data somewhere at a safe, secure place. You need Microsoft Azure as a cloud-based solution. This is a public cloud solution. Then we have internal ISO in private cloud-based solution. Effectively, then you expand and say, how do I reach out to my consumers? How do I market myself? And that's where the solutions like CPaaS, which is the complete portfolio of platform where you've got WhatsApp for business, you've got SMS, you've got email as a product line, and other social media platforms integrated into one single platform called the CPaaS. So we call all these names by a TTBS patent called Smart and a product called SmartFlow. Everything what we're talking about is built in a product called SmartFlow. SmartFlow is our own terminology, that's an in-house terminology. Now when you look at businesses, that is where how we changed our landscape is that when we talk to companies and basically talk to technology on the whole. We talk operations on the whole, and they say, let's understand the operations and then see like how do we kind of optimize your business, and these product lines fit in there. And effectively, you must evolve as a company, as an SME, and we help you evolve in that. You saw the video. Now, just to put a couple of case studies in front of you, how different segments, different sectors are basically adopting technology. It's not no more an IT kind of a KPO, BPO, outsourcing companies talking technology and buying products. It's about newer kind of customers who basically okay. I think okay. So this is a banking sector. Purely running banking operations, and banks, you effectively know that they've got multiple branches. So first and the most important thing is banking needs 3 critical elements. Data safety, that's the most prime factor here. They need communication. How do they connect within their own, and they have a central service located somewhere. And the third and the most important thing is they've got lakhs and lakhs of customers out there. How do they keep the customer data safe? How do the customers reach out to them? So the only way is not the check system these days. The only way is not to go to a branch these days. It's all remote. So banks adopt these technologies, financial institutions adopt these technologies in a big way. So what we give is basically start from a basic secure connectivity and say, is their data line safe and secure? Is their data line carrying redundancy? And then effectively use multiple solutions to kind of cover the entire portfolio. So banking sector is one case study which we talked about. The other case study which we're talking about is
as an organization, you want to digitize rapidly, but how do you keep up? You could face compromised network performance. You may experience lags and even lose out on business and revenue. Your traditional network architecture may be inadequate to handle the complexities of digital transformation. You need a network solution built for modern day challenges that works for you efficiently and effortlessly. You need Tata Tele's SD-WAN iFlex, which brings flexibility and intelligence to network management.
Could you tell me more about how it could help my network performance?
Sure. SD-WAN iFlex is an intelligent solution for traffic, network, and application prioritization as per your business requirements. Get ready to enjoy benefits like optimized network performance and uptime, simplified multi-location branch deployment and setups, and granular visibility of last mile and application prioritization as well as performance analytics. SD-WAN iFlex is a service provider agnostic solution that is easy to set up and manage. It also helps you optimize costs.
Okay, how does this work?
That's simple. It works by understanding the priorities of your business. It can manage application prioritization with last mile and routing intelligence while making optimal use of the available connectivity to deliver excellence. SD-WAN iFlex allows critical apps to use the most reliable WAN link and enables direct access to web applications.
Impressive. This is pretty much all the network performance I need to keep my business on track.
In conclusion, think of Tata Tele's SD-WAN iFlex as your ticket to digitization. It gives you optimum network performance, uptime, and helps optimize costs. Not only this, it restricts threats and cyber attacks while providing secure cloud applications. With this service, you will never have to compromise network performance functions ever again. Tata Tele's SD-WAN iFlex, intelligently flexible network management. Here's what some of our users have to say.
Nice. I'm giving my business the intelligent and flexible network management it needs.
Great move! Now you can really build a resilient business. Partner with TTBS, India's leading smart business solutions provider. For more information, visit us or call our customer care.
Solutions are becoming simpler, and now just think anyone, if you're not a technology player, you think about segment, banking is a segment or manufacturing is a segment. Those companies definitely demand this kind of a product, because without this, you can't run your plants, you can't run your remote offices. That's how the whole business runs these days. So simple is the method. Now move on. Construction again. Real estate construction, this is becoming one of the most high-tech kind of segments now. Now, how do you basically see, like you would have looked at a typical construction or a real estate firm. Now again, somebody reaching out to you, you reaching out, finding out what is the project like, and effectively like the construction firm these days, the logistics, what they have in terms of transporting materials and all that. That's again, the technology adoption is becoming high tech. In fact, like there are some clients basically who are basically internally developing their own in-house app applications, in-house tech applications to kind of reach out to their customers better. In fact, serve their customers better. So again, if you look at this particular story, this was a construction firm. They required a private network with high availability and secure access to the centralized data. The entire data was getting centralized in one place. Now there are other segments, like look at some segments like pharma. Now pharma is one segment today. It's not typically pharma. Once upon a time used to be either a medicine in a mind, or it used to be typically, say, a hospital. That's how we think about, say, healthcare as a segment. Now it has gone beyond. It's gone to logistic labs. It's gone to real-time person coming on to your house and taking out the report. And in an hour's time, you are basically getting the entire information in your mobile. So all this is happening through technology. All this is happening through some systems, because even if you're sitting out somewhere in Bangalore or in Delhi and there is a report which is uploaded there, you can get the information sitting out at Mumbai. And how many products you use in between is multiple. You basically fetch data from one place, send it through VPN to one, that is one technology, at the central server, then you process the data, that is analytics. And once you process the data, you throw it back to the consumer on a mobile phone. That's the CPaaS platform as a provider. So combination of all these products basically runs the entire business, and you don't have to now go to a particular outlet or for the better kind of wait for a report for a physical copy and all that. Everything's at your place. So same as an example here. This how consumers reach out to your people. Now, as we move forward, we spoke about these things in the past, and that's why TTBS comes as a very, very important player and play a very critical role here. So in this entire journey, if you look at this is a pretty long chart. You would not easily kind of think about saying, are these the number of products what Tata Tele is into? But these are. There are some of them are basically in-house, and some of them are basically based on some sort of a collaboration and some sort of an alliance. But to cover the entire journey, operational journey of a customer, these are the products which are very, very important in the need of the hour. So on the left hand side is basic infra products. This is the business communication we call from a communication point of view. On the right hand side is network and connectivity. And effectively, all this is integrated. You need kind of multiple products to be put together or integrated solution. That is where the CPaaS communication platform as a service comes into play. And under the CPaaS is various products types of the platform. Going forward, we talk about internal communication, voice line, smart flow. We spoke about smart flow is again an internal product, and smart flow is again an integrated platform. And you would have heard of SIP trunk lines, and you would have heard of people reaching out to multiple people through one single pilot number, and then effectively communication becomes easier, and people reaching back to you through a toll-free number. It comes under this. So as we see on the right hand side, you will see lots and lots of this. And important thing for you is if you're serving customer further, or you're running your own in-house business, which is similar to what I spoke about in my presentation. Think about how you're doing business today. And if you're doing business in a very traditional or an old method way, you may face a bottleneck very soon. So important that you adapt to this and then discuss. And as I said, like there are people around here, you may discuss after the conference also. Talk about what is your need, and we'll help you out. That's on the more infra side. This is on the virtual cloud side. So we spoke about alliances. We also have one more speaker post my presentation. I've got a person from Microsoft, so he'll talk about some of the product lines from Microsoft. So important for you again, look at the entire story when it comes to data loss, when it comes to vulnerability, when it comes to managed security, and too many things around, but the only question is, can we live without these today? The answer clearly is no. Some of our important and marquee customers which we address, and they've been with us. Good part about Tata Tele is that once you hook on to us, you stay with us for long. Just like employees stay with Tata Tele, it's the same with the customers also. And some of the awards which we keep on kind of getting every year, and some accolades. This is very important for all of us. As we do provide good services to the customers, we also need appreciations, and this is how these forums appreciate us. Thank you very much, and let's be together there, and we'll help you out. Thanks a lot.
Now I would like to invite Mr. Tobin Thomas Verghese to deliver the presentation. Mr. Tobin Thomas Verghese, Cloud Solution Architect, Microsoft Copilot. The topic will be transforming business with generative artificial intelligence, leveraging M365 Copilot for enhanced productivity. Tobin Thomas Verghese, a Cloud Solution Architect at Microsoft Copilot, is dedicated to empowering customers to leverage Microsoft Cloud effectively. With 13 years of experience, including work in the US, he specializes in ensuring data security and compliance for enterprises across various sectors like retail, healthcare, manufacturing, and banking, aiding in achieving their business goals. Thank you.
From Microsoft, and it's been almost 12 years with Microsoft, and I started this journey when Microsoft started the Office 365 on cloud, which is basically the productivity suite of the cloud. Yeah. So while I was preparing for this entire event, I was told that less presentation, more demo, and also I was told that there's more focus on manufacturing, right? I am thinking that now we have speakers. Devdas ji, your presentation was excellent, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the value add of digital transformation through the speakers that already spoke before me, okay, if that's okay. So I might ask you a couple of questions in between. I think our excellence is he there or, okay, it's okay. So before I get into the I'll just start with few demos as well before I introduce the entire session. So Devdasji, I have a question for you. How much time did it take to build your entire presentation? The beautiful deck that you created. How much time, roughly? I mean, just give me a number. No. 1 week? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to ask Copilot, which is the Microsoft 365 generative AI, okay, to create a presentation on Maharashtra's safety debt, right? So let's see. So it took 1 week, right? So let's see how much time it takes, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to tell, let's see what it comes up with. So basically what I'm trying to do is, I'm asking the generative AI of Microsoft to, I'm giving a topic to it, right, on my PowerPoint, and I'm asking it to create a 10-slider presentation on Maharashtra's safety and health regulation, okay? The whole intent of this exercise is to showcase how much time it saves, right? Generative AI, I mean, there's a notion in the market that generative AI is going to take away jobs, which I don't clearly agree with, right? It's about, I would think in another way that it's an opportunity to create more money by the time that you save, right? Now, here you go, right? Something Devdasji took, I don't know how much slide it was there, but it took 1 week for you to build. It took 1 minute for me to build, or I would say the AI to build, right? And I'm not an expert on it. I would probably let you go through this presentation to review the data content that is in there, right? However, this is a good standard baseline document to start with, right? I'm not saying that you just use this, go ahead and present it to your next audience. I'm not saying that, all right? But this is definitely a start presentation where, you know, it has given you a introduction page, you know, what are the safety measures that can be used. In between, I just saw some of the acts also that was mentioned, the Maharashtra Regulation Acts that was also mentioned in there, right? So what so this is all about generative AI, right? It is there to save time, right? Increase productivity of the users, and thereby, you know, the company makes more money, right? Your business makes more money. That's the whole thing. We are not here to take anybody's job. So with that, let me get started with my presentation. And I have something for our gentleman from, you know, our His Excellency Adolf as well. So I noticed something that in your presentation, right? There was a song that was missing, right? Which Devdasji so Devdasji had a song in his presentation, a theme song, right? But I thought I will help you with a theme song, right? So now we have our Modi ji coming up with this Make in India, right? What I did was I created, while you were talking, I was just sideline doing some stuff. I was asking the Copilot to build me a song, theme song, that will help you it's a Make in Mexico, right? So, so let me see if that works, how it works, right? Let me see. Where is that? Okay. So this is what I told is create a theme song for me with Make in Mexico campaign, right? And it gave me a song. Let's Now this is in Mexican, okay, so I don't understand a thing, okay. So it has basically, do you guys understand any of it? Oh yeah, okay, good. At least it's good that generative AI has captured it in Mexican language, right? So, but the whole thing was generative AI. The point I'm trying to make is there's a difference between traditional AI and Gen AI. That is the main thing I wanted to showcase here, right? Traditional AI is nothing but you tell a program, okay, this is how you need to work, right? It will just keep working as is, right? Based on the rules that you have told the program to work, it will just go ahead and work, right? But generative AI just now created, so basically generative AI is something, it's a magical friend of yours, right? It creates something for you, like a text, an image, and a video, whatever it is. It creates it from scratch. It has the knowledge based on the data it has access to, right? But it's creating an entire new stuff for you, right? That's generative AI. And I just wanted to kind of make this concept as simple as I can before I get into the Microsoft Copilot stuff, okay? Now, just for your reference, right? I had this song in Mexican language, right? Now, since I didn't understand it, I told it, can you please put it in English, right? And it created something for me in English as well, right? Now, I'll just go ahead and play it. Yeah, so I just added that, maybe add the manufacturing part of it to it. So, what's this sound issue? Is the sound working?
From the ancient Aztecs to the mariachi bands, we're a country united, hand in hand. Oh yeah, made in Mexico where the spirit's strong. We work hard and sing this song. From the artisans to the fields so green, together we'll build our dream. Oh,
So that was the English version of it. You can take it up. So basically, these are the capabilities of Gen AI, right? This is Gen AI, right? And now I would just like to kind of start with my presentation in case you have it open, please. Yeah, so today's topic is all about, how do we transform business with Gen AI, right? And how Microsoft has invested a lot of energy, money into it to ensure that, Gen AI gets integrated with with our productivity tools, right? Right. So whatever we saw just now is about the large language model, okay, where you have a lot of data. It will try to process it and create it in such a way that it will integrate the reasoning engine to it. And I will show you one video, a latest video where OpenAI has integrated with one of the robots, right? Now, we all know what robots do, right? You tell robot to go ahead and fetch this thing, you program it, it will just go ahead and fetch it, right? But now, you have this capability where the robot, you can ask, why did you fetch it, right? It has this reasoning power, right? That is, I would say, scary, but at the same time, it's brilliant, right? And that is how this is going to kind of help us. And this is basically what is, we hear about ChatGPT, right? Basically, it's nothing but generative pre-trained transformer, right? So I'll just play this video where it's the latest one. I think it came back a week back. So.
Hey, figure one, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great, can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
This is the part where it has the brilliance of reasoning. Why did it?
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
All right. So, how do you think you did?
I think I did pretty well. The apple found its new owner, the trash is gone, and the tableware is right where it belongs.
I agree. Thanks, Figure One.
Yeah, so as you saw, right, this was traditional AI robot into which you have included the reasoning power to it. And now it has started just behaving like a human being, right? It has its own mind, it has started thinking, and that is where things are going to get different, right? And this is generative AI that we have included in our productivity tool, right? I understand, we are getting feedback on, the product itself is expensive, right? And we were talking about it, right? But there is a reason, okay? There is a lot of, I would say, energy is for sure. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of engineers working behind the scene, right? But the investment that is being made on the processing of the data, right? And the amount of data that it has access to, right? All these take a lot of GPUs and, the data centers, which all, is expensive. So the product itself is expensive. But having said that, at some point, yes, I hope that Microsoft comes up with an emerging market price for our M365 Copilot, right? Now, having said that, Copilot for Microsoft 365 is where we integrate large language model with Microsoft Graph. Now, to people who don't know Microsoft Graph, that is the REST API with which we get the data from the backend, right? So it could be your emails, your chats, your SharePoint data. It's all stored in your data center, right? But if you want a third-party application to query it, you go through Microsoft Graph. So Microsoft Graph is the foundation to kind of query or fetch this data from this backend data centers, right? Now, so basically we have large language model, Microsoft Graph. It is integrated with all the application. So when I say M365 application, you're talking about Teams, PowerPoint, Outlook, or you name it, right? The entire productivity suite, right? And what we have done is we have also integrated that with the web, which means if you turn off the web plugin, right, and when you search for something, right, the data that comes out of it will be just that is there, like from the prompt of the data in your tenant, okay? But you can extend that to web. So, for example, I can show you in between. If I ask Copilot for work, what is the weather in Mumbai today? It won't be able to do that because it's only connecting or checking the data in your tenant, right? But with the web plugin turned on, from Teams or from the Copilot, you can ask, okay, what is the weather in Mumbai? It will go ahead and search, okay? And I'll just, again, I'm not going to go too much deep into the technical part, right? But just for the understanding of the flow, right? So we have this application out here. These are all the M365 application from where you give the prompts. The prompt will come to an orchestration engine, right? This Copilot orchestration engine is the one that manages the entire show. It will send the request to Microsoft Graph, that is where the entire data is, right? And fetch all the required information, right? And then send it to the large language model. Now, large language model is where the prompt is converted to a human recognizable format, right? And then that large language model verifies the data once again with Graph, before the prompt goes back to the application from where the prompt was made, right? And I just wanted to clarify one more thing. You can make this prompt from anywhere or any of these applications, be Teams, Outlook, Excel, wherever, right? But the thing is, if you ask about, can you summarize my emails from last week, and you're asking that question from Teams, it is going to give you the response on Teams, right? Just because you're asking about email doesn't mean that it will send that response to Outlook, right? So what we are doing is, from a single pane, wherever you are working, it could be your Outlook, your Teams, wherever it is, right? It is going to kind of give you the response from there, and you can just continue your work. And this is something you already know. These are all the productivity suite that we have, like starting from Teams, Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, Loop, Whiteboard, right? We have integrated Gen AI into all of it, and that is what we call the Copilot in M365. And we have also taken care of all the security and the compliance part of it, which means that all the security guardrails that you have put on your tenant gets applicable for the Copilot as well. So, for example, you have a document which is confidential, right? Say that only Vishal, you have access to, right? When I am doing a prompt, okay, this prompt won't look into that document that only you have access to, because it's a confidential document, right? And only certain people have access to. So when I am doing the prompt, it won't fetch data from there. But when you are doing the prompt, it will fetch the data because you have access to the document, right? So we, as Microsoft, we really ensure we take security as a big important field, and we ensure that all our products are compliant. The way we think, the way we build the product itself, we ensure that we follow all the security and compliance regulations, right? And these are some of the key features that we have from security standpoint. Like you have multi-factor authentication, you have confidentiality labels that you can mark on your products, right? Then you can have conditional access, which is nothing but you can say that if a person is trying to access SharePoint from outside India, you can just block. So somebody travels outside India, tries to connect it from US, it won't allow you, right? So you can have location-based conditional access. So these are all. So whatever you have here is like I can take 1 hour class for you, but again, it's a high-level stuff we are talking about, right? So what the point I'm trying to make is we have ensured that all the security controls that you are eligible to with your licensing will be applicable to your Copilot as well. Now, $1 million question for all the leaders out here, right? How is this going to help me, right? Now, I just wanted to kind of show some stats on before I go here. Yeah, so Copilot helps in the user productivity, right? It helps with reduction of the cost of doing business, and I'm going to show through my demo on how these all happen. So, looking at some tasks from customers who have been using Copilot is that we have seen a 12% reduction in tasks, right? Now, if you look at the example that we saw today morning, right, just some time back, it's like, I would say, I don't know, like 1 minute versus 1 week, right? How much it has reduced the task, right? So, and then 25% faster. So, any document I would have created in 1 hour, now I can create in 15 minutes, right? And also higher quality, right? Sometimes when we build documents, we know that people who build presentation and documents, and me as architect, I keep doing that every once in a while. I sometimes get lost of ideas, right? When I have a manufacturing customer, say that I have been very used to a BFSI customer, right? And when I'm writing a SOW, statement of work, right? I sometimes get aligned to that BFSI even when I'm creating it for manufacturing, right? That is when I'm lost out of ideas, right? And with Copilot, it will create a baseline document that is specific for manufacturing, right? And then you can just build on top of it, right? So that's how it's going to help. And this is just a potential cost saving with Microsoft 365 Copilot, like thinking about a company has 10,000 users and then say that, you know, an average wage is 35 pounds, right? And you are looking at, say that 10% productivity gain with Copilot, right? And that which is like close to 4 hours, right? And the productivity gain per hour per year is close to, you know, 200, sorry, this is like 20,870 hours, you know, per year per employee. Right? When you convert it to per user, this is the amount of year we are saving. So yes, definitely there's a cost that the company is putting for Copilot, but at least, but there's a return of investment that you're getting as well, which is not clearly evident, right? But you eventually see that in your productivity, like on a long term. So you won't see that ROI in the first 3 months for sure, right? But in 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, you will see that, okay, your return has started coming, right? So now I would just kind of go into just showing some of the demos. So can we switch to this? Okay, so I'll just start with Outlook. So I'll just pick up one email that came up. It seems to be a long email, and I'm pretty sure that I haven't gone through it. So what I do is, since it's a long email, it will take at least 10 minutes for me to kind of go through this entire email to kind of understand what is, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Copilot to just quickly summarize it for me, right? And Copilot just tells, okay, who said what, right? In 5 minutes, maybe 1 minute, I can just quickly read through, okay, this is the high level summary of it. And it also tells who said what, right? It's not just telling what is the content. It is also telling who said at what point, right? And then I can, if I need to kind of follow up with this person, right? Say for example, Dave helped with one of the points, right? I can ping Dave directly on Teams saying that, okay, I see that you have done some steps. Can you help me with what it is, right? See, I mean, we are increasing the way we were, like in the productivity, right? Right there. And also, I have now once I'm back to Bangalore, I have a team dinner on Friday. Now, what I can do is I can quickly just open it. Yes, for sure, we have yes or no option on the meeting. But what I will do is I'll just quickly draft, you know, a formal. Since he's a director, I'll keep a formal response accepting the invite. Right now, here is where I can dictate on what tone the format should be. Right, I can be neutral. Since it's a director that I'm responding to, I'll just put it as a formal, right, and short, right. And now I'll just go ahead and generate. That's it. So if I'm happy with the response, I just keep it and send it, right? Saving time, right? That's so with the entire demo, thing I wanted to show you was Copilot saves you time and thereby money, right? Because when you look at each individual's per hour cost, then you calculate with the amount of time it has saved. That is when the return of investment makes more sense. Okay, so I'll just close this and I'll just jump to Teams. Now, this is an email or a meeting that happened today morning. Okay, I missed it for sure. So it's on Copilot, something that we do every week to understand all the latest developments in Copilot. And I have missed this meeting. I don't know what was discussed in today's meeting. It's a 1 hour meeting that happens. So let's see. Let's ask the Copilot on to kind of summarize this meeting for us. Okay, I already had that. Okay. So I've just asked the Copilot to kind of summarize this meeting for me, and in between you can see that, okay, the meeting had been recorded, okay, and it shows at what point what each speaker spoke, right? So if I click here, I know that, okay, these are the blue lines where I can't see from here, who is it? Rob. Yeah, these are the blue lines where Rob spoke, right? And the orange line is where another gentleman, Harshal, spoke, right? Now, if I'm keen to understand what Harshal spoke, right? Earlier, what I used to do, or we all do, we play it, we scroll through it to understand, here, okay, at what point this person spoke, right? Now what I can do is I can just click on this. I can just click on it, it will directly take me to that particular point of the video where that person was speaking, right? And I can, okay, so now it has given me the summary of the meeting, right? It has put the entire summary of the meeting that happened. All I have to do is just read through it. Yeah. And along with it, I have to say that, okay, it also mentions, when it has mentioned the summary, it is also mentioning a reference point to the point it picked up, right? So it's not bluffing, right? Copilot, though it has created this summary, it is also giving a reference point to the point that it made. Like Rob mentioned this somewhere in the recording, right? So that you can validate it and you be sure that Copilot is not bluffing. And I would say, okay, were there any list of action items? Okay, I'm just asking. So probably somebody would have mentioned that, okay, Tobin will be putting a session for Copilot next week, which I'm not aware of it, right? So I'm just going to kind of ask the Copilot, okay, what were the action items? And it's going to kind of do it for me. So it's just lining it one by one, right? So the amount of time I would have gone back home, go through the recording would have been at least 20 minutes to half an hour I would have spent on this, right? Which I've got the entire stuff in 5 minutes, right? So that's how it works on Teams. I will now jump to document, right? Now, here also, let me take the example of our Mexico friends, right? I want to create a 2-page document on the benefits of Indian manufacturing company to start factories in Mexico, right? And I'm just going to ask Copilot to kind of create a 2-page document, and I'm very precise with my prompt. And this is where the prompt engineering makes more sense, because you can't simply ask some vague questions. If you want more precise answers, you need to have more precise prompts out there, right? The more precise your prompt is, the more precise the output will be from the Gen AI, right? And there you go, right? It has the introduction, the market access, the cost competitive, and what I can do is I can just save it somewhere and I can create a presentation from this. I can ask the Copilot to create a presentation from here, right? So now this is how it's working on, I'll just let it finish. So, it has covered all the corners. It has the introduction, it has the market access, the cost part, the potential of starting something in Mexico, what are the regulatory environments in Mexico that people will have to follow if they're starting a business in Mexico. Conclusion. There you go. Okay, so that's on the Word. Now I'll quickly jump to, because of time, I'll jump to Excel. Yeah, we already went through the presentation part. Okay, now let me just open this Excel. So one thing to note in Excel is Copilot doesn't work on local copy of Excel. Okay, just for an awareness. So if Copilot has to work on Excel, create insights from the table, it has to be stored in OneDrive or SharePoint. Okay, and here I have an Excel sheet which we can just try to play around, right? So I'll open the Copilot. It's a table, big table. Let me see if I can have few prompts out there which I wanted to use. I'll just ask it to kind of create 5 insights. Let's copy it. I'll just do a show data insights. So while it does what it does, any questions you have, anything that you would like to ask while it works on it? Yeah, I think I should have taken a smaller table. I mean, it's so basically you can ask the Copilot on how much revenue was generated from a particular product, what was the average unit sold from a particular product, just like that. So So whatever you used to get in a pivot chart, now it's just kind of, just earlier you used to do it manually, the pivot table stuff. Now you don't have to do that. I mean, it also helps me whenever my manager gives me numbers for India. Now I don't do pivot anymore. It's been some time since I've done that. I just ask Copilot to kind of just frame it for me, and it gives me the data, and it's pretty accurate. I would have to say that. Yeah, and then I can also say that, add a column, okay, with putting 5% discount on the sale price. Just so you have the unit sold, you have the sale price, you have the date of the sale, right? And I'm going to ask it to add a discount column with 5% discount on sale price, and it will. Before it puts that column there, it will ask for our confirmation. Only if we confirm it, that's when it's going to come. Now, while it happens, something else I wanted to kind of also share was another use case of Copilot is where you can connect this with your third-party applications. So if you have an inventory database out there, I mean, I don't have a demo for that right now, but you can connect this with your third-party application where it will go ahead and query your backend database and fetch tables for you on your Teams, on your Outlook, wherever you're doing it. So you don't have to kind of go to a particular application to kind of fetch this data. You can just ask Copilot to kind of do it for you. Yeah, and let's see. So it has come up with a column, and this is how it will look like if I go ahead and decide to insert, right? And I think that, okay, the formula looks good. It's like 37 rupees if you look at the discount, right? And I'll just go ahead and insert the column, right? So you have 30, that's it, right? So this is how it works. Like, so in every Microsoft 365 product, we have Gen AI integrated, and that is what Copilot is. And today it was all about kind of showing, the value of Copilot in all these productivity tools. Okay, while Vishal, you were mentioning about the adaptability part, right? Every company has to adapt to digital transformation, you like it or not. And I have a classic example. I don't want to take the name of the company, but you had this famous photo company, like the camera company. Yes, I don't want to name it, but this company was giant, was number one in camera making, right? They were doing everything good, except the only one mistake that they did was when digital camera came into picture, they failed to adopt that. They decided to continue with the paper print, right? Number 5 Fortune 500 company, sorry, number 5, it was number 5 Fortune 500 company became bankrupt in 2012. The only reason was it was not able to adapt to digital transformation, right? So I will leave you to that, right? I'll end my presentation because of the time. Yeah, please. Yes. Future, no, because it doesn't have insights to that, right? But if you want a chart on, tell me, okay, what is the analysis that you see between sale price and the unit sold? So it will give you those insights. But future predictions, it doesn't do. Mm-hmm. If you have the, yes, if you have the data in place, it will, if you have the data for last year with year on year growth, it will give you an insight of, okay, this is how you did last year, this is how you're doing this year, and it will give you insight. You can go in the, yeah, some recommendations on its own. Mm-hmm. So it stays there for the time until that Copilot window is open. Because we don't store data. I have to be clear with that.
Can I export it though?
Yeah, you can export it. You can copy it, export it to an Excel, and then start building up from there.
Yeah, on the fly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, good that you brought this point that we don't store this data anywhere. Microsoft doesn't have access to it. We have to be straightforward on that. Okay. Whatever data you have is there for that time period, right? We are not training our LLM with this. Our LLMs are already trained, okay, with the public data that we have, right? So your data stays within your tenant. It's not going out of your tenant, and you have all the security privacy controls you have applies to your data. Yep.
Sorry, I could be actually repeating what the question was there, just for my understanding. So what we are saying is, if there's a sales data that has been provided to Copilot, and it will be able to tell me the trends, the market trends, and how the data or the company has performed, and what has been the better quarters and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So from looking at, if your table already has those data,
right,
yes, it will be able to create
those. It will be able to give me the
insights.
trends and all of that.
Yeah.
And once the Copilot window is shut, the data will vanish.
Yeah.
I'll have to typically
You'll have to
copy
it somewhere,
else.
Yeah.
Okay, done. Thank you.
If you have the Microsoft 365 Copilot license, then yes, it is going to be available.
By default, it is available.
By default. So, not much of prereqs involved. You just have to kind of assign the license to your user. It has to be Azure AD user, right? And that's it. You start using it, it will do its magic. Yep. Good. So that's it. Thank you so much. And because of time, so we have TTSL. So we have a great partnership with TTSL. I personally work with TTSL on Operator Connect that is being integrated with Teams Phone. So they have a booth out there if you are interested to see more demos out there, and also they have 15% discount. Yeah, so you can just scan the QR code and claim your discount. 15, 15. But yeah, at this moment, Microsoft doesn't have the luxury to give 50% discount. But yeah, thank you so much. It was great talking to you.